What is up everyone, and welcome back again to my channel. And we are at the 5.5 event, which is tournament in the Glory and Bloom or whatever. So basically, if you haven't watched this story, I suggest you watch. It has something to do with a 6th Saurian, and as part of the event, at least one of them is, well, we get to take part in the Bloomflower Trial again, which hasn't been held for centuries. And the last record of it was a bit patchy at best. And if you haven't known the story yet, I suggest you go watch the story. It is, I would say, it's like one of the best written stories, in my opinion. And here we go. We have some Saurians. And it will tie in with the gameplay later on, and this is Kinich. Alright, I will give you just a couple of bit time for you to go watch it. I'll tell you to go watch the stories. It's an interesting one. It's only like 3 parts. The other part is from the other event, so you can skip that one. Just the 3 parts. That, in my opinion, is already one of the most interesting story and one of the best written ones as well. So after you came back, welcome back everyone, and let's just have fun in this event. And one of the gimmicks in this event, as you can see from the event screen, is the Bloomflower Trials. I'm kind of wondering what it's going to be like, but not gonna lie, first we'll have to take it slow. We'll have to play this Saurian game, which is kind of contradictory to what I usually do. Whenever I play events, I will do anything that involves fighting first. I think I've made this clear upon the many recordings of my event gameplay, right? Well, this time it's a bit different, because I like to pace myself around these games with the little Saurians. Well, I wouldn't consider it a puzzle game, more like an arcadey type of games anyways. And so, well, talking about Saurians, if you haven't seen from the map and from my recording of the events, I haven't unlocked Natlan, I haven't explored the nation much, I haven't even touched the Archon Quest beyond what was necessary to gain access to this nation, which is the fact that you have to name your little Saurian. The very first update, 5.0, I was kind of desperate to kind of get the Primogems, and so I have to take pictures somewhere else, yada yada. If you didn't do the quest, let's see. If you didn't remember, there is something, as was teased from the 5.0 live event, there was something wrong with the element. I don't know. I wouldn't even spoil you, because I really don't know, because I haven't even played the Archon Quest yet. But what I can tell is I will not activate it, just in case it was required in the story later. I'm sure I wouldn't be forgetting this in the future updates, right? Hopefully so. Anyways, right as we finish talking with Kinich, the next one is the actual Bloomflower Trials. Wow, such a fun event. And right there you can see Charlotte. Anyway, let's just talk to this nice guy. Now, if you haven't noticed before, in the 5.0 event, there was like a photography type of event to like introduce you in Natlan. Usually, Genshin event goes like this. New nation introduced, new event will force you to visit the new nation. I believe this is not uncommon knowledge. It has been the case ever since the first one, 2.0 in Inazuma, and then 3.0 in, what was that again? In Sumeru. Okay, I remember this when I was still kind of in high school. I was playing this Sumeru was just released, and the event already told me to go very far deep down into the Sumeru part. I kind of forgot what it was. Was the desert released back then? I don't even remember. But it forces you to go deep into the nation, which I kind of didn't like for obvious reasons. And this 5.0 update is kind of a bit more forgiving, I think. Well, long story short, 5.0, I invested on Moalani. People say, oh, Moalani is good. So I invested on my main account, didn't get. Fun, I know. The other account got Moalani though, so I kind of have to, okay, props to that account. And at least both accounts got Mavika. That's more than what I could have asked for, so that's great. We got that covered. Okay, fine. So this main account, because we didn't get Moalani, I invested on Kinich, which is a burn team. Not sure if it will be fun, because we're lacking one character. You know who? Emily from Fontaine. Have you ever heard much of Emily? Probably not. Well, it can be said that she kind of wasn't really well integrated into the story. Unless you kind of pay attention to her story and stuff, you kind of don't know who she is, which is kind of a... I mean, this is gonna happen if Genshin Impact just adds new character. So the character was never mentioned before, and it's suddenly a character, and so there's gotta be stories, but it has never been mentioned before. So does it make sense? So you're kind of not forced to do it. Okay, fine, that's a good decision. That's what they decide. I mean, if I would be forced, I would kind of not like it as well. But okay, let's just talk to Charlotte real quick.
纳塔战火再起，6不足谁能争先？只要把这部长篇报道写完，下周下下周的头条肯定全都是我的了。不枉我从枫丹千辛万苦的跑过来，虽然只带了1台留影机，但也足够了。还要再去采访几位选手。对了，听说火神会在那个竞技场里现身。要是能拍到他的画面，那就赚大了。
Okay, let's just draw a quick comparison. We just talked to Charlotte, right? Compare that to Emily. Okay, the side effect, as you might have guessed, is that almost nobody kind of knows Emily. I mean, as a random Genshin player that kind of went through Fontaine, not a new one, but those who have reached Fontaine, do they know Emily well enough, other than the fact that she sells perfume, which is kind of what is on her trailer? And in fact, I've never heard Emily speak for even once, if I remember, compared to Charlotte. In any case, Charlotte is already well established since the Fontaine Archon Quest, and you can kind of see her personality even before Fontaine was even a thing. I think it was on update, let me see, 3.7. I think one update before the, what was that again? Valyria Mirage. Funny, right? Before the Valyria Mirage, there was like this TCG thing. We have to go to everywhere. We went to, I think initially, I forgot which name. We start from Mondstadt, and then we go to Liyue, and then we go to Inazuma, and then by the end of it, we go to Sumeru, right? I'm not sure if it's an emotional story, it's been quite a while, but that was the point when Charlotte was seen for the first time. I mean, this is not the first time Genshin has done this. No, they have, at some parts they did this, for example, Kazuha, but Kazuha was actually playable at that time. And then, I'm not sure if they did this to Sumeru, but at most, Sumeru was kind of like, I wouldn't say mentioned. The first Sumeru character that we ever heard of, I think, was Nahida during the Golden Apple Archipelago with our gang, Fischl, Kazuha, and who's the other one again? And Xinyan and Mona as well. Those Golden Apple Archipelago, I think that's the best rendition of the Golden Apple Archipelago, in fact. And I'm not complaining though, one of the best events. But that was the kind of the first time we heard Nahida. That was before we know of any names that we should associate with that sound, nor who that person really is. All she ever says is something very cryptic, and we kind of left speechless. Is it? She could be from anywhere, but it's anyone's guess. But high chance it's from Sumeru, and in fact, she does come from Sumeru, which is great. Anyway, back to Charlotte. Charlotte was already well established even before Fontaine was even a thing, so we kind of have a good picture when we say Charlotte from Genshin Impact. Everyone knows her, compared to Emily, which nobody knows. And talking about Charlotte, this event at 5.5, the entire thing is probably the first event I kind of play everything in English, okay? After a lot of time, I played this event. I mean, the previous event, I think at 5.4, which is we went to Inazuma. We played it fully in Chinese, since if I play in English, it is the voice is not sufficient. But when I get back to when I eventually reach 5.5, which is the newer region, newer voice actor 5.5, I can play in English just fine. With one exception, that one exception is not even part of the quest, which is kind of amazing to think about if I tell you about it, which is Charlotte. Yes, she was not even part of the quest, but rather the ending of a quest, if you ever pay attention to Charlotte. But yeah, Charlotte is the only one which lacks an English voice, and so I switched to Chinese when I play the 5.5 quest. And that's the only time I use Chinese in the entire 5.5 update, mind you. Well, anyways, to talk it a little bit more clearly, yes, we all know Charlotte, but kind of nobody knows Emily. That's the point I want to talk across. It's kind of a conflict of interest. Let me put it that way. Players don't want to be forced to do events to like have something. I mean, the skip to event thing has expectedly been happening since 2.6. 2.6. It was in Inazuma Irodori Festival, the 240 days Ayaka banner. 2.6. That was the time when you can skip everything, but that was the time when I was not brave enough to skip everything, so I did every single quest required. I did Kokomi quest, I did Raiden quest, I did Ayato quest, kind of like that. So I think you can still see the video, but I think that was back then when my editing wasn't really good enough. But yeah, 5.5. I think the first time I reached Natlan is 5.0, but I kind of didn't do anything much back then when I reached Natlan. But now that it's 5.5, I have done quite a lot of things, if you ever noticed. So starting from 5.2, 5.1 or 5.2? 5.1, I think it was not in Natlan. 5.1, sorry, I forgot. But usually 0.1 is not in the nation that was releasing. At least that's usually the pattern. Of course, and then on 5.2, that was the time when we met Layla, Citlali, and Ororon. Ororon requested for our help. He sent us some letters, and so that was the first time I actually talked to anyone from the nation at all. And that was the time that I kind of explored it a little further than to just, give our little Saurian a name. When at that point I was kind of desperate for Primal Gems. At least I got Kinich and I can get Mona, so that's good. That was the point when I have to explore the map, right? I did explore quite a lot of places, but remember, the 5.2 event starts at the Temple of the Nightwind. I hope I spelled it correctly. It has banger soundtrack, not gonna lie, one of the best soundtrack. But to the topic again, it was far, as you notice, it was far from the quote-unquote free teleport waypoint. Usually, as new regions rolled out, Genshin Impact will give you quote-unquote free teleport waypoint. It happened in Fontaine, it happened in Natlan, probably will happen in the future regions as well. But those free waypoint will take you the closest to the entrance, quote-unquote entrance of a nation, like we did with Fontaine, and of course they did it in Natlan as well, because I'm not exploring that much desert, because why would I torture myself like that? In any case, we got very deep to the nations. I'm not sure if I recorded the whole process. No, I think before 5.2 there was one event, I forgot, I think in 5.0, 5.1, where I kind of had to explore the nation, because the event was in different locations. I forgot, but I remember I have to explore the nation in some way, shape or form. That was the point. I think that was where I got very far, but I just forgot. I don't know, I don't remember what happened after that. But that was the point when I opened a lot of teleport waypoint was on that event. I forgot 5.0 or 5.1. 5.0 seems unlikely, so I'm banking on 5.1. In any case, 5.2 is when we started the Temple of the Nightwind. I think 5.2 is Mavika banner, right? Yeah, Mavika banner. I got Mavika, I opened the teleport waypoint. Fair game. I got the teleport waypoint, blah blah blah, and then I get, some greater access. But on 5.2, there was not much to travel to. You're kind of staying in the Temple of Nightwind or the cave right near it. That's it. So we kind of have no incentive to open a lot of teleport waypoint in Natlan. And then that's when the 5.5 update came, and this is the time where I get to explore way more of Natlan. And my goal is to unlock as many teleport waypoint as possible. And so, when I'm playing the 5.5 update, especially the first event, there was a time where I need to get to somewhere far away, of course. So, which is why I start my recording at that very teleport waypoint without opening it. So I didn't open it. When I record, bam! That's when I unlock the teleport waypoint. That keeps the teleport waypoint unlocking in the recording. And so even when I play the event at that point, I can straightly teleport to that location, therefore saving me a lot of precious time. And that, I think, is the best thing I could have ever decided on. Because, you know, new region, you have to unlock it. If I didn't do the Archon Quest, there has to be a method of which I will kind of explore the region. And this is the best way I can think of. At least one teleport waypoint per quest. And since we have 4 quests, it can be said that we probably unlocked more than 4. Is that 4? I think that was... no, that was 3. But yeah, that besides the point. What I'm trying to say basically is... there's probably sometimes one video there are more than one teleport point in one video, but that besides the point. What I'm trying to say is this is how I kind of explore new regions if I didn't have the Archon Quest. I just finished Fontaine, so you might ask why didn't I try Natlan? Well, that was kind of a good question if you ask that when the nation released, because you know, if things couldn't get worse, literally right after Natlan released, guess what happens? The strike. Oh well, we all know that story really well. The strike. Well, it was for a good cause, but turns out maybe it might not have been. If I wouldn't get much to it. You can look up any YouTubers and they would probably explain it way better than me. My point is that kind of purged a lot of the voice actors that kind of worked in the game, especially in Natlan. In fact, in Natlan only, actually, since not most of the Natlan voice actor has been moved to the new agency, only one didn't survive. And also, I heard news of them wanted to replace the voice actor for Paimon. So initially, I want to wait until all Kinich voice line have been updated. And I think it did, if I remember correctly. And then I realized Paimon is also getting replaced, so why not wait until Paimon is also getting replaced? Okay, so where does that extended wait time lead us? Well, we don't know. I really wish I know, but that has been my stress point on holding this Archon Quest until way later on. And I hate doing this, I know, which is why on Christmas Day, I remember on that Christmas Day I finished Sumeru, and then I immediately work on Fontaine. I don't like to wait. I have been way behind everyone else, and I want to finish the Archon Quest so that I have access to something important, especially from the region itself. But now it seems like the game, or let's just say fate, prevents us from doing just that. Like, why is that? I kind of don't get it at all, right? You get me? You get what I mean, right? So I kind of hate waiting, but we're kind of forced to do that in Natlan, and we have been in the middle of Natlan 5.5. Who knows what new region will be released later? And we're kind of becoming 2 updates backward. And from what I heard, Natlan Archon Quest is kind of long. Yeah, probably way longer than the Fontaine Archon Quest. They just keep making it longer. Why? I mean, to fill up the contents, of course. But yeah, that one was very clear. But kind of, why is everything getting longer? I mean, will they introduce us to more characters along the way? And from what I've heard, they kind of, instead of Fontaine, which is okay, 4.0. Here's your thing. 4.1. Here's another Archon Quest. 4.2. Here's your Archon Quest, and that's it. Natlan, however, does not follow that principle. The release of Archon Quest kind of way on much longer. It does not end in 5.2 if I remember correctly. I forgot which update it ends in, but not 5.2. Unlike the previous games, which is Inazuma 2.0, Inazuma 2.1. I think Inazuma reached only 2.1, and then Sumeru 3.0, 3.1, 3.2. Bam! That's it. That's the Archon Quest. Expect nothing more but new character and story quest afterwards. Right? Kind of fair. But I think Natlan was the first one to kind of break this rule, and I think there's a lot of rules that Natlan break. Remember what I told you about updates kind of like teasing new characters? I think Natlan didn't do that as well. I mean, from the previous, I think they kind of introduced, I think there's another thing that I wouldn't attribute Natlan to, but kind of like the previous update, sorry, the previous nation, Fontaine, they kind of introduced a new quote-unquote gimmick. I don't even know how to describe this. You know the Pneuma and Osia, right? Kind of like something that revolves around the characters that only work in Fontaine, right? And then the Natlan, I think they did that with the Night Soul as well, which I've been seeing the Abyss characters slowly devolve into nothing but requiring you to use Natlan character because, you know, Night Soul. Not sure how I would feel about that. I mean, at the very least, back then when Fontaine was released in the Spiral Abyss, you don't need, I mean, you are not required to have Fontaine characters, and you can still clear it easy. But Natlan was the first time when I see something coming. Oh boy, Night Soul is required if you want to pass. That's it. If you don't have Night Soul, you're better off not doing it in the first place, which is yuck. I'm not sure how I feel about this. Definitely not positive, let me say that. I remember how I said about like my main account, I got Kinich and I got Mavuika. That's kind of it about Natlan character on my main account. On my second account, I got a little luckier, thankfully. The combination of Moalani and Mavuika is really, really great. They are both good characters. Yeah. You kind of see why I'm not liking this new Night Soul specific things. I mean, sure, new nation, yes, new gimmick. Fontaine was kind of the fun thing, okay? Fontaine, oh, fun new mechanics. I mean, it's a gimmick, but it's still fun. It's not forcing you to, but you can have the option. Natlan is it's like they put you in a wall. Like only Natlan can pass. You know how it feels, right? Okay, we always talk negative in this. We kind of want to have a fun discussion, right? Unfortunately, we wouldn't be able to talk much positive. I mean, what kind of positive that we can talk about other than the fact that the 5.5 event is kind of good. 5.5 event, one of the best so far. First impression on Natlan, I don't even know where to start. What are they basing it on? I mean, Fontaine, Italy, and France, okay? Two similar cultures. And then Natlan, what are we basing it on? You may say, oh, it's a Nahuatl language. You can see it everywhere. People have like the new record, Xochicuicatl. That's Natlan. That's a Nahuatl name. I think the name Natlan itself has the Nahuatl consonant tla, which is not a very common consonant outside of the continent. I mean, if you've seen my previous video, which is a video about the Tlalam language, which I kind of made a cover of Fiorina's story quest song in Tlalam language, and the language name itself kind of demands you to eject it, which is Nahus Kayamuchen. Again, Nahus Kayamuchen. The ka consonant is kind of ejected, which is kind of a common occurrence in the language in the entire family, right? So if you go to Nuhak, you will find ka. If you go to Okanagan, you will find ka, and then not different in Tlalam, you also find ka. However, the thing that kind of makes me hard to learn Nahuatl is the fact that Nahuatl has the plain tla without the ka. So I kind of have to get used to pronouncing tla the Natlan way. And you can see it everywhere in this game event. For example, the Kakawatl. That's yeah, the Tla consonant, very very classic, and it's a very distinctive Nahuatl consonant. And I gotta say, I think also Citlali also was also based on a Nahuatl name, another name, Grandma Itztli. It's based on Nahuatl. Okay, we have Citlali based on Nahuatl, and then what? Shilonen, I don't know. Maybe Nahuatl, maybe not. I don't have any ideas. But Mawika and Moalani, the structure of their names, the consonant, the vowels, kind of demands a Polynesian language. If you don't know where Polynesian stretches, it came from Tonga, Niue, Tonga, up until Hawaii, and the Easter Island. It reaches that far, all right? And I kind of don't know about the spelling, okay? I don't know where their name came from. I just know that they are Polynesian names, because the structure kind of resembles a Polynesian language. They might as well come from Niua Fo'o, or maybe Tahiti or Rapa Nui, and yeah, I don't know. Although one thing that I can say, or we can say for certain, is that the Natlan character is based on animals, right? At least some of them. I mean, if I say what animal is Citlali or Mawika based on, you wouldn't be able to answer anything. But if I say something like maybe Moalani or Shilonen, you would be able to start having some guesses around. Now, welcome to the people of the springs. I think that's what their tribe is called, the Moalani's tribe, the tribe who lives near the water, and therefore, and then also paired with like an equally fitting Saurian. I mean, that's one of the whole gimmicks of Natlan, right? Like each Saurian, or what Neuvillette likes to call it, a dragon. I'm not sure how accurate Neuvillette's description is, but each tribe has like one Saurian. And then they have like, I'm not sure if I can call it gimmick. Let's just call it like their specialties. Alright, so let's head down these enemies first. In the beginning, I wasn't sure about how to play Moalani, but I think I've starting to get the hang around it, okay? And so what you need to do is quite simple actually. I just use other elements to kind of like be the helper of the elemental reaction, but you just need to use Moalani's skill, which summons a shark, and then just run around enemies, getting those 3 points to the left. You can see 1, 2, 3, and once it's full, just do charge attack. Yeah, it took me quite a while to figure it out actually. And there you go, it shouldn't be that hard. We got Kokomi to heal us up, no problem. I don't even know. And also, if you realize, Moalani's gimmick is riding on water. Yeah, very fitting for her tribe and her skill. Do you know what? I think Moalani is like already... Okay, what is that jump even for? I don't see the purpose. Anyway, I think Moalani is already like one of the strongest characters in Natlan history. And I mean, the first time Natlan came out, which is on the update 5.0, we are now playing at 5.5 by the way. And she was literally one of the best characters. And I have, as you can see, I have 2 accounts when I play Genshin Impact. So my main account and then my second account. So in terms of Natlan, I think I would have to say that my second account is a bit more lucky. We have the strong combo of Moalani, and then we have Mawika, which is the Archon, of course. I don't think, on my main account, I invested on Moalani, but I didn't get Moalani, right? I think if I remember correctly, I got Chi-Chi. So I started investing on Kinich, and that's how we got here. Well, unfortunately, I should have invested on Moalani. I mean, my luck wasn't even there, so I don't even know what to say about this, but yeah. Now, to be very honest with you, I mean, I should have definitely picked Moalani, but you know, I think a bit of a diversity between the main and the alternate account would have been good, but you know, let's try to destroy this bubble first. There you go. Okay, you know what? I kind of clicked attack just because I want to like plunge down. I'm just hoping we don't get stuck, or else we're screwed, okay? Please don't get stuck. Please, what? I mean, like I said before, I click, okay, we're good. I click attack to plunge down, but Molani goes forward instead. At least we can walk on water. That's the positive of Molani, and kind of like her gimmick. And I think Molani is the only one of People of the Springs. I saw one meme from Instagram like the playable Natlan tribe, and then from her tribe, the People of the Spring, there's only Molani. So one thing I kind of learned from the challenge is that don't do literally everything, because as you can see, there might be like some challenges here and there to like use the gimmicks on, right? And you don't have to do all of them, because sometimes doing every single one of them can drain your time. Guess how I learned that out, okay? Well, it seems, I think the accumulation is pretty good, even without us doing any type of challenge. I mean, first attempt, I did a lot of challenge, but probably regretted doing that. And maybe we shouldn't do that, okay? I think, look at that, the accumulation is pretty good. We just have to wait. I know it's boring, but it's a sure way of getting all the stars. I'm pretty sure. Okay. Yeah, I think we made the right call. Okay. Finally, let's go. Last one, everyone. And of course, we got one of the funniest Molani line ever. Like, I think she already said that multiple times. Okay, at least we can just cross the water, I think. Yeah, okay, last one, no problem. Let's see what enemies we're facing today. Okay, that one, very normal. I mean, I'm not even sure when to use Molani's burst. I'm just kind of spamming it, to be honest. Anyway, one thing I kind of still find interesting to this day is that, I mean, I didn't play the Natlan Archon Quest, and you know that. So, literally my only moments with the Natlan character is the quest in 5.5. And yes, and Molani randomly mentioning that, I mean, finally, the final boss. Okay, it shouldn't be that hard. I think this boss has something to do with Hydro, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, just mix all the elements and whatever goes. Anyway, I think in the story, Citlali mentioned that Molani destroyed her door. I don't know when was that mentioned. I looked it up online, and there's only fan art. So, yeah, probably not something that happens in the quest. Probably something that happened long time ago. But there you go. I think we can clutch this one, no problem. 6 minutes. Yep, 6 minutes clutch. Alright, we're sailing smooth today, and I expected that Bloomflower trial takes a lot of time, so we made the right call to kind of like do the Saurian one first, maybe, and then the Bloomflower trial later, right? And now we have Varesa, which is, if you know about Varesa, interestingly, she is the last tribe to be announced, which is she's from the Collective of Plenty, along with, what was her name again? Coach Yansan, because why not? I mean, I'm not, you can't say I am familiar with the tribes, because given my track record that I haven't explored Natlan very much, but here we go with the Collective of Plenty gang, and we are here with Varesa, and yeah, whatever. I think this works a little differently, because let me try. I think instead of attacking the enemy like we did previously, now we are defending our base from the enemies. I think, yeah, we are defending from other tribes. And as the Collective of Plenty, I think this is the individual one, because according to the event, if you heard that correctly, there are two types of Bloomflower Festival. I mean, let's just attribute the mystery behind the Collective of Plenty tribe to the fact that, number one, I didn't play the Natlan Archon Quest. Number two, they were the last tribe to be introduced. Number three, well, the event doesn't really introduce the tribe. I mean, okay, for starters, we got to know Molani, Kinich, Kachina, Shilonen, Citlali. Okay, we got to know a lot of those people in the event quest itself, but when it comes to Yansan or Varesa, they don't really appear that often. I mean, each tribes can be described like in the beginning, sort of described, not like in like full-on description of the tribe, but not really. In the beginning of the story quest, if you remember, when the traveler gets out of the building, when she just talked with Mavuika, all the tribes just have something to offer to her, right? I think Kachina offers her Saurian crackers, Moalani is like the hot springs, etc. That kind of thing is already enough to describe like a tribe. For example, the Collective of Plenty offers like what? Workout plan to be strong. That says more than enough about the tribe itself. Also, if I remember correctly, just to access like the place of the Collective of Plenty tribe itself, the moment you almost reach the outermost teleport waypoint there, you'd be prompted in like a scripted quest in like a volcano. I mean, the tribe itself lives near the volcano itself, and then something with a dragon. I mean, I'm just as clueless as you are, because I don't know what happens there for once. Why is it putting me on a quest? I don't want to get trapped in a quest like the way I do with the Aranara quest back in 3.0, thank you very much. Oh my god, please don't okay, good. At least I'm not trapped. Anyway, the way I play Vanessa is, I don't even know how to play her, okay? I just keep attacking until she's airborne and then do like a plunge attack. I think she's like Xiao, but like Natlan now. I don't know how she works, okay? I'm just guessing. Okay, your guess is as good as mine. Also, I think now the time is trickling down instead of up. And now we have on the left side, enemy waves defeated, 3 out of 10. Are they insane? Do they really expect us to defeat 10 waves of enemy? Is that what they want? I mean, sure, I played on the the hard version, I mean the difficulties level, but you know, it just doesn't feel fair when I'm recording for this channel and I pick like the easier sides, because who would do that, right? Okay, anyway, there's like I don't know, 15 seconds left. We can just win. Everybody knows we're winning, even though there are some characters who are like dead. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, we're winning, that's it. Well, yeah, it's getting attacked, but nobody will take our base, that's it. Just like, oh, whatever. Okay, we're done. 2 stars. Who cares? I'm going home with Primogems anyways. And this confirms our theory, and as what was already said in the quest, event quest itself, that the Bloomflower Trials will be divided into 2. The quest 1 revolves around the first type, which is the 3 tribes versus 3 other tribes in 2 stages. I think 2, or is it 3? Yeah, I think 2. And then the other one, which is the exact one we are playing right now, which is each tribe pivoted against each other. Alright, we are from Kinich of the Science of the Canopy, I think. And if you try to look around the name, Kinich, I don't know about Kinich actually, but about the Achau, or Kohul Achau, well, the name has some Mayan roots to it, or actually the Yucatec Maya language, or they call themselves Mayatan. Well, like what I said, the yapping session starts. Well, Ahau is very annoying in my opinion, just like what everyone thought actually. And you know what? About Kinich, Kinich is the character I invested straight to Natlan. Like each update I have the first character I invested in. For example, first time in Inazuma 2.0 I invested on Ayaka, and then on 3.0 yeah, 3.0 I wish fortunately, but at least the first Sumeru character I got is Nahida, of course, the Archon 3.2, right? And then on 4.0, I think that's the, what is that, Fontaine? I first invested on Lini, and then on 5.0, it's Kinich, because I failed to get Moalani. I got trolled by the game, I got Chichi instead. Not very nice. But yeah, Kinich plays a burn team, as you can see. That's why I put Mavuika and Kinich on the same team. He plays a burn team. If you don't burn, then yeah, you're not making anything out of Kinich actually. And I say I didn't do a lot of research when I invested on Kinich. I was like, fun, like a new Dendro character, right? Probably like do something, but actually Kinich is a burn team. Yeah, Kinich, Mavuika, and a character you've probably never heard a lot, like for the reason I said it earlier, of course, Emily, right? Yeah. Although having tried Kinich myself, I think his playstyle is actually pretty fun, to be honest, just spinning around the enemies. At least more fun than characters such as Alekino or Hu Tao. But yeah, the problem is, okay, let's try Kinich's gimmick first. The problem is it's kind of hard to control when he's kind of spinning around. For example, when the enemies are like some sort of like stuff. I forgot the name of the enemy, but those Natlan enemies, you know what I mean. It's kind of hard to control the spinning and stuff, of course. And as members of the Science of the Canopy, Kinich has those like grappling hooks thingy, right? which is kind of yeah, that's kind of his gimmick. And as a member of that tribe, the Saurian is, I think it's called Yumkusaurus, the kind of Saurian that can like traverse spaces by grappling hooks. I think that's how it works. Alright, after this there should be only one more. I literally love how this is a contrast to Moalani, whereas Moalani, we focus on like attacking enemies and ignore all of those mini games with her gimmicks. As Kinich, we lean heavily on the mini games and the gimmicks. I mean, whatever brings us closer to our goal, right? And Moalani, it just slows us down, but for Kinich, it's like, yeah, I like this, right? I think because Moalani gimmick or mini game is like her sliding around with those like water thingy. I don't even know the name. I just kind of like know that she uses her shark thingy to like go around the sky, like sky wave something, whatever. But at least as with Kinich, it's a bit more fun, and at the very least it's interesting. We kind of have to aim and do something like that, and it doesn't waste our time, I guess, in respect to like the times that we will have to consider when we are, you know, attacking the enemy base. Because you know the time is going up and we should not pass 6 minutes. And just in time it's finally full. So let's activate it and destroy the final layer of the shield. There we go. And then some of you might have started to ask, I mean, with Kinich's gimmick being a grappling hook, would that really aid you in terms of exploration in Natlan? Well, to be honest with you, not really. What character I use for exploration is, I mean, it didn't change after Natlan, but I didn't use Kinich much. Actually, I just still use the Wanderer. But anyway, at the topic of like Kinich, and as you can see, we are playing a burning team. Well, supposedly with Layla as the shield. I mean, it's not the most ideal team, but what more can we do, right? Well, if you notice something, well, my Mavuika is at level 40. Okay, let's be fair, I got Mavuika at like 5.2. I never touched Natlan, so yeah, I'm not... We're killing it, we're even below 5 minutes. Okay, we're doing good. Let's try the very hard. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that I got Mavuika at 5.2 and I didn't even open Natlan. I didn't have the weekly boss. I didn't have the boss unlock every single one of them. So I'm kind of stuck. I mean, I did try to grind Fontaine, so my Fontaine is kind of good now. The only problem is, yeah, Natlan. My Natlan is not very good. And then, okay, in the topics of Kachina, yes, when I explore Natlan, the most useful character is actually Wanderer and Kachina. Kachina is very useful to climb those hills because, you know, it's very taxing for Wanderer. In comparison to like other characters, yes, Kachina is better at like climbing those hills. Mavuika, I don't really try Mavuika a lot. So yeah, the most useful, just have Wanderer and Kachina. Mavuika is only like for backup, I think. And I don't know what the name Kachina is supposed to infer to. I don't know the origin of the name Kachina. At the very least, even though I don't know Kinich, I know from Uhul Akau that the name came from the Mayan language, or Yucatec Maya, whatever language you're trying. But it's it's inspired by my Mayan language, right? But Kachina, I'm at a loss for words. I don't know exactly. And on the topic of Kachina, Kachina is one of my uncharted territory when it comes to like the characters I know, because I don't really know much except from her like drilling mechanics. Like, although not gonna lie, Kachina's gimmick is, in my opinion, one of the best gimmick ever. I wouldn't even call it gimmick, it's genuinely helpful in terms of exploration, especially in Natlan. During the event story, if you see my map, all those far-reaching waypoints is only possible thanks to Kachina.
必须要回防。
I explored the Flower Feather Clan's base, also thanks to Kachina. Okay, mind you, I don't have Shilonen, so I can't really compare directly with Shilonen if she's better or not.
对手打到家里来了。
Why do her base keep getting attacked? What did I do wrong? Okay, I mean, I'm just enjoying my gameplay. I don't... I'm sorry, I don't even know what... Okay. Well, one thing I can say for sure is that I'm really proud of Kachina for like achieving her goals and stuff, right? Because I remember what she said during the event story, that it is her lifelong wish to like finally win at like some sort of trials, right? And now with the Bloomflower Trials, she managed to win along with her friends. That is her long time goal, and yeah, she kind of achieved it, and I'm kind of proud of her. And so I think that might be the reason why the monster is kind of getting a little aggressive than usual.
加油，师傅！
Or maybe I'm just not very good at playing Kachina. Okay, it could be both, maybe. Okay, we got attacks from the Yumkusar, which is the Science of the Canopy. Fun. I mean, yeah, Kachina did play a key role in the Bloomflower Trials. I mean, the other one, not this one. Even though Shilonen kind of also carried, but you know, Kachina should be proud of herself. She did a really great job. She really did make the Children of the Echoes, which is her tribe, proud. I mean, I don't get it with these like 10 enemy waves defeated. I can't achieve it naturally, at least on the very hard difficulty level. But hey, at least we tried, right? Okay, our base is getting attacked for sure. Oh my, this is the hardest, I swear. Okay. Oh, at least we did it. At least we did it, okay? At least we did it. That is the most challenging. I think Kachina's one is the most challenging so far. Not gonna lie. Alright, so I think the next one is... Oh, that sounds like the Flower Feather Clan. Basically those who can fly. Well, look at here. Who is leading? Kush, or... The game likes to call her Chaska, but I call her Kush. Because like a meme, you know, as an internal meme, but whatever. Nobody understands. But basically, when I see another character that can fly, there has never been a moment where I want a character more than that point when I see Chaska. I mean, I don't even care about her gameplay. I just see, oh, she can fly. I want her. Like, that's it. And I've been calling her Kush for, you know, for the meme. I just call her Kush, like, because you know, there's a... I was studying a language, and there's a language which has a word similar to Chaska in terms of spelling. So I just call her Kush because of that. Whatever, doesn't matter now. But you know, the flying gimmick, it really sells me because I really want this character. You know, one thing that I really... This is my favorite gimmick so far. I mean, imagine flying. I mean, I already have Wander on both accounts. So it's kind of a... So like, do I replace Wander with Chaska? And then like, I mean, it makes sense in Natlan at least. You know, you get the extra energy only for Natlan. You can still go up. You can fly across. I'm not sure if Mavuika has the flying ability to the extent that Chaska here has. But, you know, I'm just contemplating. But like, genuinely, explorations aside, I think her gameplay is also fun. You kind of mix in elements. Just watch, okay? We have Kokomi here, Ayaka, and then Xiangling. Just watch what happens. You aim, and then you mix all these elements together and just keep, and then rinse and repeat. That is one of the best gameplay ever. Like, you just stand there, the enemies usually wouldn't be able to attack you. Like, what's more to ask for, right? And then once your burst is full, just, I think, use it, I guess. I don't know. Can you look at how effective that is? I didn't even use my burst. Okay, I don't even know when to use the verb. I just use it whenever I can longer shoot from like the skill. But, you know, look at that effectiveness. Chaska is also one of the best characters from Natlan. So that's another reason that you would want her. Okay? Oh, why is it disconnecting now? Oh no. Okay, that is genuinely one of the best things that could happen. Okay, I thought I was disconnected for sure, because if that were to happen, then my recording would have become pretty big, and that would not be very good for my laptop. I mean, don't you just feel nice when like all the recordings are like in one file when you did everything successfully? I mean, you kind of have that feeling, okay? And since we are the Flower Feather clan, we have to fly. It's unavoidable. It's in the blood of the Flower Feather clan. And of course, because we fly, there are mini games as well with the flying. Yes, and as you can see, this is actually the region that I started to kind of unlock with the help of Kachina. I think I used Mavuika for some time as well, but not to the extent that I used Kachina actually. I used Kachina to climb to the hill, and then that's when I arrived to the Flower Feather clan's, like, how do you say it? Like their hometown? I don't know how to explain it, but exploring through these islands with those steep hills, the combination of Wanderer to go, I mean, I don't have Shilonen, and then Kachina to climb those hills, and Mavuika to help me fly because I don't have Chaska, it's just perfect for exploration. I opened so many waypoints. I mean, look at the comparison. At the very least, the mini games with Chaska and Kinich is actually genuinely fun. The other one tells you, guides you about aiming and stuff, which is very much in line with Kinich's grappling hook, and this time, because it's the Flower Feather clan, they have to fly, and it's a flying minigame. It makes sense. Alright, we've got a lot of the enemy bases so easily right now, and then, well, at least it's better than nothing, I guess. And compared to, let me just continue the previous discussion, right? The minigames actually helps you this time. Compared to the previous one with Moalani, it actually slows you down. Moalani minigame, don't do it. Avoid at all costs because it actually slows you down. You should never do it. You should avoid it at all costs. I don't understand why they couldn't be bothered to like make the Moalani minigame that is actually fun to do and that is actually challenging and it doesn't drain your time. I mean, trust me, I did that. I did the Moalani multiple times, but as long as you do the minigame even once, you're failing the 6 minutes mark. That has to be said. Alright, last shield destroyed, advancing to the final batch of enemies, I guess. Well, I mean, with Chaska, everything is possible. I mean, just mix in the elements and just skills, and then shoot your gun to the enemies. That's it, I guess. A massive gun. I don't even know if it has a name. By the way, in the topic of characters design, Chaska is actually very interesting in my opinion. And if you see, you know her, I think it's called stockings. I forgot the name, but you know, I think it's due to the way Kukusaur sleep when they sleep with, you know, with only one leg up, touching the ground. I don't even know how to explain, but that was the inspiration behind her design. And I mean, that kind of makes sense with her duty and all. I mean, her origins being raised by Kukusaurs and all. Okay, that's fine. But can you guess her job with her costume like this? If you guess a peacekeeper without playing the Natlan quest, well, wonderful. They did a great design at they did a good job at character design. Well, truth be told, most people wouldn't get it right. So it's safe to say that her costume design is more like a cowboy whose short just so happened to be made by a Kukusaur who sleeps with one leg standing. And does that make sense to you? Probably not. Now welcome to the last trial of Natlan, and probably the character that I still don't really know much about, which is Citlali. Again from the Masters of the Nightwind, which is the first tribe I met because, you know, I didn't play the Natlan story quest, and therefore I only arrived in Natlan at 5.0 actually. That was when I was forced to take a photo there. But at 5.2, that's when I went to the Master of the Nightwind to, first of all, wish for Mavuika. Thankfully, I did get Mavuika. And also, that's when Ororon sent a mail to us for asking for our help. And that's when we met two important people from the Masters of the Nightwind, Ororon and Citlali. Well, that was the time when we have to rescue someone from their their clairvoyant stage inside a cave because they were quote-unquote scammed. Although I'm not sure about much of the details already. I mean, it was kind of a fuss here and there, and they were promised to have like, I forgot the exact story. It has been that long. I mean, if I remember correctly, there's like a woven scroll thingy that tries to see what Layla was thinking about, and one of them, I think there was like a warrior whose name was Sanhaj Kompore. I'm not sure, I already forgot what it meant, and I think the last quest also kind of like gives a clue with a name. I forgot what it refers to anyway, but also Akul Batil. I already forgot what it refers to, okay, so don't question me about that stuff. I forgot the lore. I'm sorry. And so, well yeah, I mean, in the end we managed to rescue Layla with like the map of Merjivari. It wasn't even the first time that this region is mentioned in Natlan. It was way long ago during Venti's story quest. It was mentioned that there was one adventurer by the name of Stanley. Or again, spoiler alert, if you haven't played, please do play. There was one guy named Stanley who was an adventurer who keeps telling stories about himself. Well, when in fact the Stanley he is referring to was the adventurer who saved him. And because the adventurer died in Merjivari, his spirit couldn't be guided by the wind because it was a windless place. It was a desolate place, and that place just now, I think somewhere in the Natlan update, was revealed to be in Natlan. So now we know that Merjivari is in Natlan, but precisely where, we don't know. And just during the 5.2 update, like I said, with Citlali and Auroron in the cave, now we also learned that Merjivari place is no longer there. Boom! How does that information shock you? I don't even know. I don't even know if I want to go there in the first place, but apparently the place is not even there. It doesn't exist anymore. Boom! Gone in one night. What happened? We don't know. Will we ever access the place? Probably not, unless the devs want to make it a special occasion where we can access it or something. What is with the recording, bro? Why is it so bad? I mean, again, okay, let's go back to the topic of Merjivari. What can I talk about? Well, nothing else. That's it. Literally, it's not talked about much. I don't know if it's ever relevant to the game mystery, to the game story. I don't think so. Well, but at least again, 4 waves of enemies. What do you expect? I can't do 10. Welcome back again to my channel, and as per usual, as per tradition, ever since the Hydro quest, we're gonna claim our rewards. We didn't do that during the clairvoyance and 5.2 update with Citlali and Auroron. Well, now at least we do remember, okay? Don't blame us for this. Anyway, this is the Bloomflower Trial. All 6 tribes, all of them, I wouldn't say it's perfect, but it's as best as we can do. Beginning with the people of the spring, and then the collective of plenty, and followed with the third one, which is the science of the canopy, and then the fourth one is the children of echoes. The fifth one is the flower feather clan, and the last one, the 6th one, is the master of the night wind. Finally, that concludes our second phase of the Bloomflower Trial after the first phase, which is 3 tribes versus 3 other tribes. Well, now at least Kachina also won. It was very hard to make Kachina win that Bloomflower Trial. I swear it was it was one of the hardest. And next one is the Saurian, which is isn't as complicated, which is why I kind of pushed this one in the beginning instead of the latter part of the gaming session. But hey, at least we're doing good now. And that's it. See you again at 5.6 update. I'm kind of expecting what will go on in 5.6 update. I don't know as of right now. They just announced a new chef from Fontaine, so probably the next one will be in Fontaine. I don't know. But let's just keep ourselves optimistic, okay? You know, there's right now a big discussion about like the English voice actor, but I kind of don't want to bring it up again.
Oh, hello. I'm Auroron from the Masters of the Nightwind. Want some vegetables? Oh, don't worry. I'm not trying to sell anything to you or get anything in return. There's no rhyme or reason for it, really. I just like to see what every seed grows up to be, so I end up with a lot of produce. As long as my vegetables wind up in the stomach of someone who enjoys them, that's all that matters.
Welcome, Auroron, to our party. Remember Diluc being called Batman? Well, Auroron is the new Batman anyways. Well, I guess that's it for today. If for those who are asking, have you watched Auroron getting scolded by Citlali? No, I have not. Unfortunately, that was because I haven't played the Natlan story again. Apologize. I mean, with the current situation that I should not talk about any longer, I am halting my playthrough of the Natlan story quest. Okay, I think some voice actor will get replaced here and there, bada bing, bada boom, whatever. I will keep being optimist, but I will not be blindsided by what is happening. It's sad that it even happens in the first place, but you know, this is my favorite game. I want it to thrive. I want it to get better, but from the current state of things, I really do hope it gets better. That's it. That's all my message from you. And again, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for the support, and see you again on the next video. Peace.